Assalamu alaikum. I am Altaf Ahmed and today I would like to discuss the existence of one-way functions. So, I would like to discuss what the one-way functions are, whether they exist or not, and we will try to prove if they exist. We will also discuss some functions which can be a candidate of one-way functions if they exist, and we will also understand the consequences or the importance of one-way functions. So what exactly is a one-way function? One-way functions are those which are easy to compute on every input, but hard to invert given the image of a random input. So the term easy and hard here mean that the function itself is easy to compute in, in polynomial time. On the other hand, its inversion is not possible in polynomial time at least. So formally, we can say that a function of this form is considered to be a one-way function if it can be computed with an algorithm which takes polynomial time, but any polynomial time randomized algorithm, we should call it f, if it attempts to compute the inverse of this function, it will succeed with negligible probability. And now comes the big question. Do these functions actually exist? Well, we can't say for sure because it is still an open conjecture. We cannot say whether these functions actually exist. We cannot prove their existence, neither we can prove that they do not exist. And now we shall discuss the importance of one-way functions. So let's say that one-way functions do not exist. Well, in that case, then secure cryptography becomes impossible. The reason is that the, the one-way functions are the only way to generate some patterns which we can consider to be very secure because there are no ways to get the input back by using the output. Well, and the proof of existence of one-way functions would solve the most important but the most notorious problem of the computer science, which is P versus NP. And to prove that, we will say that let's say that we have a function f, and inversion of f would be hard to compute using the definition of one-way functions. But it would be easy to check. The reason is because since the computation of the function itself is easy, we can check the inversion using the actual function. If the input gives us back the output that we inverted, we can easily verify our answer. So if a one-way function exists, it means that P is not equal to NP. So the problem itself is resolved. And now let's discuss some examples of one-way functions. Well, since it is still an open conjecture and there are no proof that these functions actually exist, so we cannot say for sure that these are one-way functions. But these are some suitable candidates which can withstand some testing of one-way functions. So the first one is the multiplication function. So if we multiply two large prime numbers of equal length, computing their product is very easy. Any computer can do that. But given its product, can we actually find the actual prime factors? It becomes very difficult because it is not easy to compute that in polynomial time at least. At least for now, there are no algorithms which can do that. But the catch here is that we are restricting the domain of the function to very large prime numbers. If they are not, it becomes very easy and trivial. So the function itself on the whole scale is not actually a one-way function, but it is still a suitable candidate if we restrict the domain of the function. A similar case is the Rabin function. The Rabin function calculates the x squared and mod of n, where n is the product of p and q, which are prime numbers. Now the calculation itself is again not very complicated and can be done in polynomial time. On the other hand, its inversion is computationally equivalent to factoring because n itself is a product of two prime numbers. So in if if the factoring is possible in polynomial time, then the function would become a known one-way function. But for now, we don't know whether functioning whether the factoring is a one-way function or not. So we cannot prove it, but it is a really good candidate for the one-way functions. So this concludes my discussion of one-way functions. I hope there will be some time when we can actually prove the existence of one-way functions. Till then, thank you for your time.